So there's an individual that I saw on GoFundMe who is asking for donations towards the Ocha, and they gave their story. And within their story, they said basically they got the money taken. They had a godparent. That shit got stolen. 3 years later, less than 3 years later, something like that, they saved the money again. That shit got stolen. Now they're on their third attempt to save up for this Ocha money, and this is the reason why this individual has the GoFundMe attempt. What I think is appropriate for today's landscape, let me just set the vibe for you. The traditional way of doing things is you have a basket, a canasta, and you present it to the alagbatori. I'm like visualizing right now. You present it to the alagbatori of your godparent, whoever that may be, and it goes on the floor. Little by little, you go over that person's house and you put the white underwear, the white socks, the little soaps, the head covers, the towels and everything. And you put money. You don't know what relationship that you're going to have with that godparent however many months down the line. My thing is, if you're gonna do an initiation or receive anything or local and $1,000, whatever, wait until you have the lump sum, and then you organize a time to meet with that godparent with the intention, this is what I want to talk about, I have the money. As opposed to, hey godparent, I want to get crowned, and I'm gonna leave the money at your place with your yamaya, with your agayu, whoever, and leave it little by little. Why? Because there's just too many stories, and you're gonna hear India's perspective and more of like a podcast. It's just an audio of some horror stories where you do not know what the relationship is going to be with your godparent. And even if you have good intentions, even if your godparent has good intentions, you do not know who is walking in and out of that house. There are too many, way too many examples. And you don't have to look far. Hit up any santero you know, and I'm sure there's gonna have a story for you where somebody else in the community took thousands and thousands of somebody else's Ocha money that they were gonna get crowned with that person, and that shit got took. You know, now you're trying to get crowned for a third attempt. I would wait until I have the lump sum and then present that to the godparent. That is what I did. Before I got crowned, I had been working like crazy hours. This was during COVID. And I had promised myself, I said, I'm gonna save up $10,000 cash. And I had a little wooden sopera, the same sopera that my agayu was born in now. And I kept that on the floor with my warriors, and every paycheck I managed to save like $10,000 in a year. I wasn't going to the movies, and I was like super duper strict. Try not to eat out, and I got a little raise because of COVID. I was working as a caregiver for special needs adults, and my rate of pay went from 11 or 12 to 15. And so I was like, yo, this is my opportunity. So I worked crazy overtime. I busted my ass, and I got to the 10 grand. Even if I did have a godparent that I had for however many years, I was going to save that $10,000 in cash in my own home with my own orishas. Why? Because I do not have to worry about somebody coming in, be it the godparent or be it anybody coming in that person's house, and I know where my money is. Yo, so I'm recording this after the fact. I'm in the middle of editing, but I wanted to add in there that not only was I saving in my own household, not at the household of my godparent. At that point, I did not have a godparent. So in the middle of my saving, I kept my mouth closed and I kept my intentions to myself. So that, why would I do that? So that there's no potential, not saying that I was pressured, because the person who crowned me, Ali Ocha Nilade, Kinkamache, did not pressure me at all to get crowned. I know that there are individuals out there who have their godparents and their godparents on their ass. When are you gonna get crowned? When are you gonna come up with the money? When are you gonna come up with the money? Luckily for me, that was not an experience that I had, but I understand that's experiences that other people have. So to avoid that potential pressure of having your elder breathing down your neck, fiending for that money, in that way. I kept my mouth shut. So that's a second piece of advice that I would give to this individual. Save in your own house and save quietly. Granted, I mean, you put it on a public forum, on GoFundMe and whatnot, but you know what I mean. You know, to the best of your ability, don't give, I would say another thing, don't give a date. Don't give a time frame. I kept shut, and I said, whenever it is I come up with this money, and the right person comes through my path, they say, you know, the head finds its house. Whenever that time comes, I'll be ready. So I was sitting on this 10 grand after the fact, after I already had the money. I was sitting on it for, I don't know, however many months. I don't know, 6 months, a year. I don't know. I would have said like almost a year before I actually got crowned. And I just, zip, that's it. And I kept it inside of my Agayu Sopera, just $10,000 in $100 bills inside the little bank envelope inside of the Sopera. I didn't know when I was gonna get crowned. I didn't know who was gonna crown me, but I knew that when the time came, here's the money. Toma. Okay? So that's definitely advice that I would give to anybody else. Keep your plans to yourself. Instead of putting $500 increments to your godparent, so that you can avoid, because I keep it real on this channel, okay? So that you can avoid the whole thing. Well, if you truly trust me, you'll keep you'll keep your money at the foot of my santo. To even avoid there being any friction between you and your godparent of make sure, oh, you trust me, right? You trust me. So it's okay to leave your money. Don't even say that you want to get crowned. Don't even say, or if you do want to get crowned, say, oh, I'll get crowned. Hey, you know, Santo will provide the money. But like, don't give actual numbers. Hey, I got 5,000 out of the 10 grand it takes to do crowning. I round it always to 10 grand. Don't even bring up numbers so that you don't even get the potential or give the godparent the opportunity to pressure you in any way, shape, or form. You know the Santo's waiting for you. Oh, the Santo came down, he's waiting for you. Oh, you know, hey, God willing, I'll get crowned one day. And you play dumb. Straight up, you play dumb. Meanwhile, you're hustling and you're making your money. You're making your money. That is it, okay? So I'm gonna get back to the video because now I'm just ranting. Peace out. Can be argued, well, if you're having those thoughts about a godparent, well, then maybe you shouldn't even be considering that person. That's a legitimate argument. If you do $500 a month or whatever and you're saving, a lot can happen between here and now. Not only in your life, in the godparent's life. Circumstances change. You know, these are things that you simply cannot predict. I'd rather put $10,000 in a person's hand and say, I'm ready for Ocha, which is what I did. You know, before I got made, I had the money. I did not give a penny until I was ready to get crowned. And I made that decision, okay, I'm ready to get crowned. As opposed to, hey, I want to come over and bring half. I want to bring a quarter of what I got in a show of faith to your crown. Nah, not in 2023. In 2023, you get the money and you give the lump sum. That's my way of thinking. But if I could talk to that individual, I would say, you know, hey, dude, you're still standing. You got taken not once, but twice, and now you're trying for a third time. You're still standing, so you must be doing something right, okay? You haven't dropped dead. So if you need whoever on your head, slowly save your money little by little. And whenever it is you are actually ready to get crowned, present the amount of money. But do not put $500 installments because a whole lot can happen.